most people will stay stuck forever. That's the brutal truth. They'll complain about their jobs, their health, their money, and their lives, but never change. Why? Because comfort is addictive. The comfort zone is the deadliest trap. It feels safe, it feels familiar, but it slowly robs you of growth, dreams, and potential. If you don't break free, you'll spend your life repeating the same year over and over until you finally realize decades have passed and nothing has changed. The reason 95% of people stay stuck isn't lack of talent, it's lack of action. They think about what they want, talk about what they want, even daydream about what they want, but they never do the work. Thinking doesn't change your life. Doing does. The difference between the stuck and the successful is not intelligence or luck, it's execution. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, you're just running in circles. Here's the trap. Stuck people always wait for the perfect time. They say, I'll start when I have more money, when I feel ready, when conditions are better. But the perfect time never comes. There's no ideal moment to start, there's only now. The successful begin before they're ready. They move even in uncertainty. They learn, they adapt, they grow. Waiting is just disguised fear, and fear is the reason most people never take the first step toward freedom. Another reason people stay stuck is excuses. Excuses feel safe. They protect your ego. They make failure sound justified. But excuses are chains. Every time you say I can't or I don't have time, you lock yourself tighter into mediocrity. The successful don't play that game. They own their time, their choices, their future. Instead of saying I can't, they ask, how can I? That single mindset shift changes everything. It turns obstacles into opportunities and excuses into execution. Comfort kills dreams. Most people want growth without pain, progress without sacrifice, success without struggle. But it doesn't work that way. Growth demands discomfort. Progress demands sacrifice. Success demands struggle. If you're not willing to endure the hard parts, you'll never reach the great parts. The reason most people stay stuck is because they avoid discomfort at all costs. But those who rise above know that the pain of discipline is lighter than the pain of regret. Most people never escape because they care too much about opinions. They stay stuck in jobs they hate, in lives they don't love, because they're scared of being judged. But here's the truth, people will judge you no matter what. If you succeed, they'll judge. If you fail, they'll judge. If you play it safe, they'll still judge. So why live for their approval? The successful choose authenticity over acceptance. They'd rather be disliked for growth than loved for mediocrity. Fear of failure keeps people frozen. They imagine the worst-case scenario and let that fear control them. But here's the truth, failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. Every failure carries a lesson. Every lesson builds strength. The successful fail more often than anyone else, not because they're weak, but because they keep trying. The ones who stay stuck fear looking foolish. The ones who succeed embrace it. You can either fear failure or use it as fuel. Stuck people chase distractions, endless scrolling, mindless entertainment, gossip. It feels like escape, but it's actually a trap. Distractions numb your potential. They rob you of time you can't get back. The successful cut them off. They understand that focus is the new superpower. Every hour wasted on nonsense is an hour stolen from your dreams. You can't outrun distraction, you have to eliminate it. Success requires ruthless focus, while thrives on wasted time and broken attention. Environment is destiny. If you surround yourself with stuck people, you'll stay stuck too. Mediocrity is contagious. Your circle shapes your standards. If your friends are comfortable with average, you'll adapt to average. But if you surround yourself with the hungry, the driven, the relentless, you'll rise. Iron sharpens iron. If you want to escape, upgrade your circle. Find people who challenge your excuses, who demand your best, who remind you that greatness is possible. Most people stay stuck because they chase shortcuts. Quick fixes, overnight success, instant results, they want it easy. But shortcuts always lead to dead ends. The extraordinary understand that mastery takes time. Success is built brick by brick, habit by habit, year after year. They play the long game. They're patient, consistent, and willing to endure boredom. The average quit when progress feels slow. The successful keep stacking small wins, knowing the compound effect will eventually explode. Stuck people wait for motivation. They only act when they feel inspired. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. The successful don't depend on moods. They depend on discipline. Discipline means showing up on the hard days, the tired days, the uninspired days. It's doing what must be done, no matter how you feel. That consistency builds habits, and habits build destiny. If you're waiting for motivation, you'll stay stuck. Discipline is the real engine of success. Stuck people lack clarity. They don't know what they truly want, so they drift. They wake up, go through the motions, and repeat. But drifting always leads back to average. The successful live with intention. They're crystal clear on their goals. They know exactly what they're chasing and why. Clarity gives direction. Without it, years slip away with nothing to show. If you want to escape, define your vision. Know your why, and the how will reveal itself along the way. Here's why 95% never escape. They mistake movement for progress. They're busy all day but achieve nothing. They check boxes, attend meetings, run errands, but never move closer to their goals. Busyness is not productivity. The successful focus only on what truly matters. They cut out the noise. They prioritize the actions that move the needle. Activity feels rewarding in the moment, but only results matter in the long run. Stop being busy, start being effective. That's the difference maker. Another brutal truth. Mediocrity survives on low standards. Most people accept far less from themselves than they're capable of. They do just enough to get by. But success requires demanding more. It means refusing to settle. It means holding yourself to a higher standard, even when no one is watching. The successful don't aim to be average. They aim to be exceptional. And because they demand more, they become more. Raise your standards and you raise your entire life. Another trap is blaming. Stuck people point fingers at their boss, the system, their parents, or their past. But blaming gives away your power. The successful take radical responsibility. They own their failures, their choices, their results. Because when you own it, you can change it. Victims stay stuck because they wait for someone else to save them. Owners escape because they realize no one is coming. It's on them. Responsibility isn't heavy, it's the key to freedom. Here's the truth. 95% will stay stuck forever. They'll keep waiting, keep blaming, keep settling. But you don't have to be one of them. You have a choice to remain average or to rise, to drift or to decide, to stay trapped or to break free. The difference between the stuck and the successful isn't luck, it's commitment. Commit to action, to discipline, to growth. Refuse to be part of the 95%. Your life is too valuable to waste on mediocrity. Most people stay stuck because they lack urgency. They think they have time. They say, I'll start next week, next month, next year. But years fly by. Life doesn't wait. The successful treat every day like it matters because it does. They know tomorrow isn't promised, so they act today. Urgency turns intentions into action. Without it, you'll drift forever. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. Delay is the silent killer of dreams. Stuck people never change their identity. They try to change habits while still seeing themselves as the same old person. But identity drives behavior. If you still believe you're lazy, broke, or undisciplined, your actions will match that belief. The successful rewrite their identity. They say, I am disciplined, I am relentless, I am unstoppable, and their actions align. If you want lasting change, shift your identity first. Become the person before you live the results. Here's a hidden trap. Most people play not to lose instead of playing to win. They avoid risks, avoid bold moves, and protect themselves from failure. But by playing small, they guarantee small results. The successful play to win. They take risks, they step into the unknown, and they bet on themselves. Playing safe feels secure, but it guarantees mediocrity. If you want to escape, stop protecting average. Start chasing extraordinary. Life rewards the bold, not the timid. Another reason people stay stuck is because they don't track progress. You can't improve what you don't measure. The stuck drift aimlessly, never checking if they're moving forward or falling behind. The successful measure everything: habits, goals, results. Tracking builds awareness, and awareness creates change. If you want to escape, start measuring. Write it down, review it daily. Numbers don't lie. They'll tell you if you're growing or drifting. What gets measured gets improved. Stuck people underestimate the power of consistency. They quit too soon. They stop showing up right before the breakthrough. Success is rarely about doing one big thing, about doing small things repeatedly until they compound. Most people don't stay consistent long enough to see results. The successful do. They show up day after day, brick after brick, trusting the process. The gap between stuck and successful isn't talent, it's consistency. Small steps repeated daily change everything. Stuck people confuse comfort with happiness. They think staying safe, doing less, and avoiding risks will make life easier. But comfort becomes misery over time. The happiest people aren't the most comfortable, they're the most challenged. Growth creates fulfillment. Pushing limits creates pride. Struggle creates meaning. Comfort feels good now but feels empty later. That's why 95% stay miserable in comfort zones. The successful choose growth over ease. Fear of standing alone keeps many stuck. Success is lonely at first. It means working late when friends are out, saying no when others say yes, and walking paths few dare to take. Most people can't handle that isolation, so they cling to the crowd, but crowds breed mediocrity. The successful are willing to walk alone before they're celebrated in public. Greatness requires solitude. If you can't handle being alone, you'll never stand out. Separation precedes elevation. The reason most people stay stuck is because they're addicted to instant gratification. They choose what feels good now over what creates freedom later, scrolling instead of studying, spending instead of saving, quitting instead of persisting. But success is delayed gratification. It's doing the hard work today for rewards tomorrow. The stuck chase comfort. The successful chase legacy. One path ends in regret, the other in freedom. Which will you choose, the easy now or the powerful later? Now is your moment. Stop watching life from the sidelines. Step onto the field. Break free from the habits and excuses keeping you stuck. Demand more of yourself starting today. And if this message lit a fire inside you, share it. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment with the first step you're taking right now. Remember, 95% will stay stuck forever, but you don't have to. Be the exception. Be unstoppable. Your future begins today.